27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you here. I am meteorologist Brett Thackra coming to you live from our Digital Now Center. And we, of course, are here to talk about Ida and the destruction that Ida caused across portions of New Orleans and the Gulf Coast and is still continuing to cause. We're going to get into that, of course, in just a little bit. We also want to take a look and see how this will have an impact on us locally, too, because we are going to experience Ida, at least in some form, Tuesday night into Wednesday, and likely lasting into Thursday. We will not experience any winds with this, or at least not major winds. This is going to be a heavy rain threat, a flooding threat. And today and tomorrow now are the days that are really leading up to this, the time to prepare if you know you live in a flood-prone area, because we could be talking about some significant rain. So let's get started. We're going to start here in Mannheim this morning, and we're going to take a look at the forecast over the next couple of days. Locally, we're dealing with some cloud cover, but the sun trying to break on through. We do expect today to be pretty hot. And here is a live look at Upper Dauphin Area High School at Elizabethville, some sun breaking out. So it should be a partly sunny day and very, very pleasant to start, although we do expect the heat to increase. It is going to be quite a tropical environment over the next couple of days leading up to the remnants of Ida. Temperatures are in the 70s now across the region, and the dew points are horrible, in the 70s and likely going to be in the mid-70s over the next couple of days, despite the fact we don't expect a lot of rain today or tomorrow. There may be a storm later. Notice this frontal boundary that is draped across the northeast. That could be the trigger later today for a front. You can see this thing kind of bearing down on the region here today. Notice, though, it doesn't have a lot of moisture with it. It's not that impressive. Some scattered showers, some storms. There was some lightning strikes up toward Erie overnight and across southwestern portions of Pennsylvania. So that could act like a trigger. And actually, Ida is going to be joining up with said front here, and that is going to help enhance the rainfall for us as we move into the day on Wednesday. So getting a lot of comments pouring in here to the feed, and certainly want to say thank you for that. Good morning from Middletown. Hi, Sherry. And Josh coming to us from north central Pennsylvania. So if you're joining us, we are talking about the forecast for the beginning of the week and then leading into Ida, which will affect us here during the middle part of the week. So some thunder is possible today as this front advances on us. But I'll go back to the full screen here, and you can see that front will meet up with Tropical Storm Ida as it starts to work its way up the Tennessee Valley. That front will act as a steering mechanism for the storm, and that will direct heavy rain right into our region. So let's get the latest this morning from the National Hurricane Center as we track the tropics. This is a storm, Ida, that just really was reminiscent of Katrina. It has a well-defined eye wall that continued to persist over land. It hit land as a very strong Category 4 hurricane, and it continues to churn, slowing down a bit now over land, but downgraded to a tropical storm. Not that that matters. To me, that's semantics. It's more about impact, and the impact is fierce. It has lessened now from 60-mile-an-hour winds this morning to 45 with the latest update, so that's good news, but it's moving only north at 8. A tornado threat persists across the Florida Panhandle, Mississippi, Alabama. And you'll notice, too, the rains just persist as this thing swirls and just continues to yank in Gulf moisture across the deep south today. So certainly they're going to be cleaning up for months in that part of the country, unfortunately, and we send our thoughts to those fine folks down in the Gulf. You can see what we've got here across the region, and that is the path of Ida taking the remnant low just south of Pennsylvania for Wednesday. So this will start in earnest on Tuesday night, continuing into Thursday morning. The excessive rainfall guidance from the Weather Prediction Center is going to be pretty high for us. This is an elevated look a look at the projections, and we are in an elevated risk area. That red area for south central PA over toward Philly and Jersey, that means that the Weather Prediction Center does believe there's a very good chance for floods to occur locally here during the day on Wednesday. Today, we'll get partly sunny skies. As you can see, a stray shower or a thunderstorm is possible here. This evening, we don't expect any wide coverage of those, very isolated. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe a stray shower late in the day. Again, Most of tomorrow will be dry. Most of the next 48 hours will be dry. So that's why we're saying if you live in a flood-prone area, today is the day to do some prep work. If your basement usually takes on water, start clearing it out. Clean your gutters, because that can normally lead to overflowing of water. That can cause basements to flood. If you live in an area that typically evacuates, start making plans and preparations now, like along streams and creeks that typically flood, because we do expect this to be significant. Here comes the rain then Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, a steady rain. Wednesday, a lot of the heaviest rain is going to be north and west of Harrisburg. You'll notice that. And then Wednesday night, the whole complex shifts to the east. So then it becomes east of the river, the heaviest rain for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And things will wrap up likely by the time we head into Thursday at dawn. If there's one piece of good news, it's that this storm is not going to sit over top of us. So, again, this is a fairly progressive storm. We anticipate the storm to be moving at a pretty good clip. Mike saying thank you from Hershey. Great to talk to you, Mike. Good morning from Lebanon. Julie, always good to talk to you. Do you think the downpours will be a steady spread-out rain or just times of real heavy rain and then lighter periods? At this point, I would say fairly steady, but of course there's going to be times where it's raining like a tropical system, and then it will be lighter. There's going to be intermittent periods of the heavy rain. I really think that we have to be very cautious here going into Wednesday night, especially because that could end up being the worst of it. 2 to 5 inches of rain projected by most of the guidance, but I do think there could be localized areas that get 6 inches. So a flash flood watch already being posted by the National Weather Service. And it's a pretty good bet that they get out ahead of this. I like what they did today. Again, we're saying here 2 to 5 inches expected. Locally, perhaps close to 6 inches. That is going to affect a lot of the streams and creeks, basements that typically take on water. And, of course, the rivers will rise. Now, the good news there is the rivers are low. I think if we get 2 to 5 inches, the rivers will be able to handle it. Now, the Susquehanna, of course, is going to rise. I think the Juniata will be okay. But we're going to have to keep a close watch on the Susquehanna over the coming days because this is still a lot of water. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of water upstream, too. More good news because, again, we don't want to dwell too much on the negative. If you live in a flood-prone area, prepare now. Get out ahead of this thing. But there are some, rather than dwelling on the fear factor here, there is some positive news, and that is the weather does get better as we move into the end of the week. This storm moves fast. So by Thursday and Friday, temperatures are going to be in the mid-70s. Sunshine, less humid. Early September weather. Overnight lows in the 50s by the end of the week, so we can open up the windows and get some fresh air. We are going to be talking, though, about the flood threat quite a bit over the next couple of days. You can find me on Facebook at meteorologist Brett Thackera. Give that page a like. It's always good to keep up with me, and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have in the coming 2 days. At Brett Thack ABC27 on Twitter and Instagram as well. So here's your 3-day forecast today. Again, hot, 90 degrees. That humidity will help to set the stage for Ida that will be affecting us on Wednesday. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy and a stray shower. And then that 2 to 5 inches of rain is anticipated here Tuesday night through really Thursday morning. But again, the good news is this storm moves fast. Wednesday's going to be a rough day. There's no doubt about it. Good question. Somebody said, I mentioned this early, but if you're just joining us, somebody said, will there be any winds with this? No. By the time Ida gets to us, it will be a remnant low. It may be breezy at times, but nothing to write home about. This is not going to be a windstorm. This is going to be a rainstorm and a heavy rain flood type of situation. The winds will be okay for us, which is certainly good news. It's not going to be anything like what they dealt with down south. So Patty saying, I'm hoping the storm changes course. 2 to 5 inches is a lot of rain for a 24-hour period. It sure is. We don't expect it to change course. We are going to be under the gun here for a lot of water Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Wednesday night. So that's why we're telling you, do some of the small things that you can. If your basement floods, get some of the materials out of there. Clean your gutters. That'll always help. And, of course, if you live in a flood-prone area where you typically have to evacuate in these high-rain, heavy water situations, then, start thinking about where you might have to go on Wednesday and just try to get out ahead of it now. As I mentioned, though, the weather does get nicer behind this. It's a fast-moving system for us, which is good news. We will have the latest, of course. I'll be on Good Day PA at 10. I'll see you at noon, and we'll be posting on abc27.com throughout the day as well. Thanks so much, everybody. Prepare now. Stay safe on Wednesday. We will keep you posted. Thanks a lot.